Welcome back, everybody, to Rantpocalypse Talks The Walking Dead, Season 7, that is. I'm Justin.
Hey, I'm Kelly, and together we are a mother and son Walking Dead talking duo.
Yeah, and we are here tonight to discuss, or today, this morning, whenever you're watching this video, to discuss what comes next on The Walking Dead. We are a couple of days removed from the traumatic experience. I'm still not over it. It still haunts me every time I see anything on Facebook, on Twitter, YouTube, anywhere. I get teared up, but we're going to try to put that aside for just a second and discuss what do we think is going to come next and give you our predictions for next week's episode, which is entitled The Well. We've seen the teaser trailers. We've seen two of them, actually.
Yeah.
There's one that is about 1 minute and 34 seconds long, and that is really just Carol and Morgan. And Morgan is introducing Carol to the kingdom, and he's about to take her in to meet King Ezekiel.
Okay, let me just say this right now. Anybody
Yes.
that calls themselves King Ezekiel makes me question the whole place.
That's very true because we saw what happened whenever somebody calls themselves the governor.
Right.
And if I was in the zombie apocalypse, I'm trying to think. I think I would go with the aristocrat. That's what I would go with. That would be what I would always wanted to be that. You don't have the rich family, the lineage of money, and all the cool stuff that comes with that.
Or so we tell you.
Yeah, well, I don't think that I definitely was not born into an aristocratic family. Sorry, Mom, I love you and everything.
I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to have a drink of water. See,
Yeah.
See?
So yeah, I found it very interesting that we see that trailer of Morgan and Carol in the kingdom, because then you couple it with the teaser trailer that AMC showed directly after the episode aired. I feel like we got some time jump things going on here.
Definitely. I think we're going to have a good period of time before we see Rick and Maggie and the gang that were just beat by Negan. Don't you think it's going to be a while? Don't you think we're going to focus on Morgan and Carol for a while?
Yeah, I definitely think that a big portion of episode 2 is going to focus on that. The synopsis that I read is, for a number of familiar faces, a new, well-established community seems too good to be true.
Oh, I didn't even read that, and I thought it sounded too good to be true. It looks great. It looks beautiful. It has all the things I want, except that there's somebody that calls himself the king. So, and has a tiger. I mean, how ostentatious is that?
Yeah, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the Comic-Con trailer, there is a tiger in the kingdom. We saw that from the Comic-Con trailer. Shiva is going to be with King Ezekiel. And you're right, it definitely seems too good to be true. It has a very reminiscent look to Terminus for me, of the way that they're growing stuff within a concrete area. Because, that's not something that you normally would do. You don't grow crops in concrete, but they have to because they want to make sure that everything is secure. They don't want walkers walking through their cornfields and everything, so they got to all grow it in this enclosed area. I found it very interesting, the amount of crops that they're growing in that very small area. We don't know if they know Negan and the Saviors, if they've been introduced to Lucille or not in the TV show, but it certainly seems to me that that's what they are good at, is growing crops, and I'm curious as to whether or not, I'm not going to get into the comic books, as to whether or not like they are already trading with Negan, because I feel like the Hilltop, they're very good at making weapons, even though they're not guns or anything. But we've seen some of the Saviors with the Hilltop weapons. We saw them whenever Negan was bashing Glenn and Abraham's head in. A few of them had the spears and everything. Everybody's got to have their speciality. And it looks like the Kingdom's is crop building.
What I liked about the Kingdom was the amount of children that we saw going to school.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any large group of kids since the prison, and that wasn't even that many kids. But that was a bunch of kids, and they seemed to be studying. So, they had a future, and not just, it's a zombie apocalypse, we're screwed.
Yeah, it wasn't Carol teaching how to use knives and everything. But when I was saying, with the timeline and everything, it is very interesting because in the 36-second little teaser trailer, we see Morgan fighting off a walker, and then we see Carol running away. She's running away, and her clothes are all tattered. So I'm curious as to whether or not what we're basically going to see is the journey to the kingdom from the season finale of last season,
Yeah.
because Carol was injured, because whenever you see them, whenever Morgan is carting her around in the wheelchair, it looks like it was a time jump in the sense that she didn't know where she was, kind of like a Rick Grimes situation where he just wakes up and he's like, where the hell am I now? What world is this? Because the world that she knows from just recently was complete shit and everything was going to hell. And then she's in this Eden paradise place all of a sudden. So that's definitely going to be jarring for her. But my biggest question to you is, what comes next for Rick Grimes? Killing not only Abraham, but Glenn as well.
Yeah.
Almost cutting Carl's arm off, just completely emasculating, humiliating Rick Grimes in front of his people. And there's the old saying that Rick Grimes has told the people, these people are my family. If you hurt them in any way, I'll kill you. So will Rick kill Negan?
Well, I think that's his plan. I mean, that was his plan when he spouted off and right into his face, which was probably not the smartest thing to do. But Negan went a long way in breaking him all the way down. And we see in one of those teasers that there is a bat, which I think, to me, it looks like it's Michonne and Rick's house, like on their windowsill, possibly in their bedroom. This bat that maybe it's the one that he used. I don't know, does he have multiple Lucille's? I don't understand. He like gives them to all the people, like, here's a souvenir. I knocked your friend's head off and you can take this home with you, as a reminder that it could happen to you. I didn't understand that part at all.
Yeah,
So,
it definitely looked like Lucille on the countertop, on the windowsill, whatever it was. And you're totally right. I feel like that is Negan just totally playing Rick right there, just toying with his emotions, keeping Lucille in eyesight and as a reminder constantly of hey, if you get out of line, this is what's going to happen to you. Kind of like how he did with the hatchet in last week's episode, where he just puts it on the table and he's like, go ahead, pick it up, man, do it. And Rick attempts to at first, but then he's so broken that he doesn't even try anything anymore. And you're right, at this point, I think he's so broken that Negan could come in, fix himself a glass of iced tea, put Lucille down, not even have any men around. And I don't think Rick would do anything. But I want to get into a little bit of spoiler territory here. So if you don't want to be spoiled at all from the comic books, it's not a huge spoiler in the sense that I think most people know this.
I don't think most people know this.
Because
turn away. Just turn away.
Yeah. Okay. Stop watching if you don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah.
Because my question is, what does come next? Will Rick kill Negan on the TV show? Because in the comic books, Rick does not kill Negan. Negan is still alive. He's alive and well. It's 59 issues past the occasion where he bashed Glenn's head in the comic books. This was just horrifying. It was so terrible. And we've seen how Rick's acted in the past whenever some outsider kills one of their own. I mean, we saw Dawn, as soon as she shot Beth, they're just blowing her away. We've seen Claymore Joe. He didn't even kill anybody, but he tried to, let Carl get raped, and Rick gnaws his neck out and everything, just rips his neck completely out.
Okay, but that situation, Rick was in peril and Carl was in peril, immediate peril, right there.
Yep.
It to me, it's different for Negan, who is taken out of the picture. When you're super amped up and pissed off, I could have seen Rick doing something to Negan in the moment.
In the moment, yeah.
But later on, when you let your psyche, just really wear you down and say, I couldn't do anything about it at the time. Why do I think I could do anything about it now? Look what he'll do. He's going to take one of my babies away from me and chop them up. All those things go into your mind when you don't have that adrenaline working.
Yeah, to keep you in line per se. Well, see, I look back and I see somebody like Gareth, where Rick didn't get to finish him off right then and there. Kind of like what you're saying, it was in the moment
Right.
and everything. And, he plotted and he came up with his plan of, hey, we're going to let these people into the church and then we're just going to brutally just kill the crap out of them. So, I mean, and
I'm going to murderize the crap out of you.
Yes, indeed, going to chop you up. I just don't see how Rick and Negan are going to coexist. If it was just Abraham, maybe.
Right.
And if it was just Abraham and Glenn, maybe. But whenever he threatens to chop Carl's arm off, that's threatening his kid. And, that's everything that Rick Grimes stands for, lives for, is to provide for Carl, to keep him safe and everything.
I do feel like that they will kill Negan on the TV show. I don't know. I feel like the TV audience is different than the comic book audience.
Oh, for sure. So. And I mean, Negan is quite hilarious in the comic books, and we laugh. He's one of the best parts of the comic books now. I mean, he is basically the Abraham of the Walking Dead comic books in the sense that he brings all the humor and whatnot. But on the TV show, these are characters that we've lived with for the past 7 years.
Right.
And, we have such an emotional attachment to them. I'm curious what other people think. Like, could they ever see a time in a day where Rick coexisted with Negan on the TV show? Because really, really tough for me to envision that. Especially, I mean, obviously at this point, maybe as time goes on, but damn, it's going to be really tough even after time has subsided.
Question. I just thought of this. On The Walking Dead's Twitter page, did you see the poll that they just put out? Which was more difficult, the season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead or the Red Wedding?
Oh, that's pretty good. I did see somebody put out there, what was the worst TV death, and it was Glenn, Oberyn Martell, and I cannot remember the other one, but it was like a neck and neck race between Glenn and Oberyn. And it was more like not traumatic, but it was more like what was the most gruesome death.
Yeah,
but I picked Glenn. Of
course.
Glenn was way. I mean, Oberyn was quick.
Yes, it was quick, and we were sad. We liked his character, but we didn't love him. But the Red Wedding, I'd forgotten how traumatic that was for me. That was horrible.
Yeah, that one was really, really tough as well. Lots of deaths right there that were of key characters in a very sad, sad way. I still think that, in my opinion, this is more traumatic to me. It's more saddening to me to see this death, and that's why it's gonna be really tough to. I don't even know where we go from here. To be totally honest, like, it's so weird. I could have seen them doing it last season, ending it with this, and having the 7 months to decompress and and move on and everything. But man, to think that we got another Walking Dead episode Sunday night, we got to prepare for this. I don't even know what to prepare for, which I agree with you. I think it's probably makes the most sense that they kind of steer clear of Rick and the gang for at least one episode and then pick back up.
I don't know, but I do think it would. I never like episodes where we don't have Rick, but I think it's probably going to be maybe healing for all of us if we just don't see Maggie for one episode.
Yeah.
I can't look at her face.
It is very tough. I like to look at her face, and it's very tough to look at her face right now. The last thing I wanted to point out is I thought it was a really cool Easter egg in the one with Morgan and Carol, as Morgan is wheeling Carol into what is going to turn out to be the theater where she meets King Ezekiel, because we saw that from the Comic-Con trailer where she's sitting in the theater and she's like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm excited to see that part, but there was a quote on the wall in the background. I don't know if you saw it, and I thought it was very very apt for what we just went through on Sunday night. It said, "Hope is the North Star. Let it guide you." And so I thought it was very cool, and I felt like that was just a nice little Easter egg for us after seeing all that horribleness of having some kind of hope. So
I have no hope.
I don't either. I really want Rick to just. I want him to kill Negan.
Like in episode 3?
No, not quite in episode 3. But I just feel like for me, and it's very tough. I'm curious what you guys think. Would you want to see Negan live, or do you want to see Rick Grimes just go Ricktatorship on Negan and the Saviors and just obliterate all of them? So let us know. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you want to get more of our content. We would appreciate that. So thanks so much. We hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.
Bye.